Will Dr. Caroline Bruzelius please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Caroline Bruzelius, A.M. Cogan Professor Emerita at Duke University. Caroline Bruzelius is the leading authority on the medieval architecture of the Italian South. Trained in French Gothic architecture, she early on established the definitive building histories of Saint-Denis and Notre Dame in Paris before moving to the splendid, difficult, understudied, war-ravaged, and earthquake-ravaged buildings of Angevin, Naples, and Campania. Adapting quickly to Italy, she eventually rose to be director of the American Academy in Rome. Her work on mendicant architecture and burying practices all over Europe relates gigantic 13th century religious complexes to the testamentary practices of an urban middle class. She has illuminated the impact of women patrons and nuns on the medieval urban fabric. She's now returning to the Gothic cathedral in the urban context. She's pioneered the application of digital technology to architectural history, co-founding institutes at Duke and in Venice. Acclaimed teacher, she has long been a bridge between European and American medieval scholarship.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Well, he wants us back here again. Oh, take off your name tag for a minute. Yeah.
Leave them on.
Oh, they leave them on? Okay. All right. But anyway.
This is the first time in 3 years.
Thank you. Congratulations.
But wait, there's more.
I mean, we've in the past, we often try to keep these inductions kind of short, but we have 3 cohorts of elected folks who haven't had the opportunity to be inducted before. So I hope you will enjoy it, hearing about them. Will Dr. France Cordova please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present France Cordova, President of the Science Philanthropy Alliance, former Director of the National Science Foundation, and President Emerita at Purdue University. France Cordova began her career as an experimental X-ray astrophysicist and today is an influential science leader. Her X-ray observations shed light on cataclysmic variable stars, white dwarfs, and pulsars, and she discovered a population of active galactic nuclei accreting supermassive black holes in the center of galaxies with unusually strong low-energy X-ray emission. In the mid-1990s, Cordova shifted her career to science leadership, first at NASA as chief scientist, then as vice chancellor for research, chancellor, and president of leading universities. As director of the National Science Foundation, she initiated the NSF's Big Ideas for cutting-edge science to reinvigorate research funding. Cordova helped bring about the influential National Academy of Sciences report on sexual harassment in academic science, engineering, and medicine, and led all federal agencies in requiring that sexual and gender harassment be reported to the National Science Foundation by grantee institutions, just like any other research misconduct.
In the name of and by the authority of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Great to see you. Will Dr. Didier Fassin please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Didier Fassin, Professor at the Collège de France, James D. Wolfenson, Professor at the Institute for Advanced Study, and Director d'études, École des Hautes Études en Sciences Sociales, Paris. He has recently been elected at the Collège de France to a permanent chair named Moral Questions and Political Issues in Contemporary Societies. An anthropologist and a sociologist, Dr. Fassin has conducted field work in Seneca's no, too many Indians, Senegal, Ecuador, South Africa, and France. Given his background in internal medicine and public health, he dedicated his early research to medical anthropology, illuminating issues such as the politics of the AIDS epidemic in sub-Saharan Africa and maternal mortality disparities among Indian women in Ecuador. He later developed the field of critical moral anthropology, which explores the historical, social, and political significance of moral forms involved in everyday judgment and action, as well as international relations. He's also carried out an ethnography of the state through a study of urban policing and the prison system. His recent work is on the theory of punishment, the politics of life, and the public presence of the social sciences.
In the name of and by the authority of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Will Dr. Peter Godfrey Smith please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President. Madam President, I have the honor to present Peter Godfrey Smith, Professor of History and Philosophy of Science at the University of Sydney. Peter Godfrey Smith's work has expanded the agenda for both the philosophy of biology and for the philosophy of mind. His two most recent books, Other Minds in 2016 and Metazoa in 2020, have already had an enormous impact, not only in philosophy, but across a wide range of disciplines. The former book has already been translated into 7 languages, and translations into 13 more are forthcoming. Together with a more technical presentation given in Mind, Matter, and Metabolism in the Journal of Philosophy for October 2016, these books pioneer a novel and well-grounded approach to understanding mental life. Besides his work in this area, Godfrey Smith is also well known for his work on a number of topics in the philosophy of biology: the concept of function, the understanding of signaling, the theory of multi-level selection, and the structure of Darwinian theory. He has also made seminal contributions to the general philosophy of science and to the reconstruction of Dewey's pragmatism.
In the name of and by the authority of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Will Dr. Moshe Habertal please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President. Madam President, I have the honor to present Moshe Habertal, Professor of Jewish Thought and Philosophy at Hebrew University and Gruss Professor of Law at New York University Law School. Moshe Habertal is known for applying deep knowledge of ancient philosophical traditions to modern questions of democratic theory. He was a co-author of Israel's Military Code of Ethics and speaks widely on the current challenges confronting constitutional democracy. He spends every fall semester at New York University, where, despite lacking a law degree, he is a tenured law professor. Colleagues there praise the insights he brings to questions of U.S. constitutional law. He's been a visiting professor at many U.S. law schools, including Yale, Harvard, and Penn.
In the name of and by the authority of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody here who doesn't already know Nora? who is if not, Nora is our director of membership and prizes, and she's organized all of this and richly deserves our thanks. Okay. Will Dr. Desmond King please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Desmond King, Andrew W. Mellon Professor of American Government at the University of Oxford and Professorial Fellow at Nuffield College, Oxford. Desmond King analyzes the politics of social policies, including unemployment and welfare policies, immigration policies, and welfare policies. His 1987 book, The New Right, was a major early analysis of emerging economic and social policies extended in his later scholarship. His 1997 book, Separate and Unequal, showed how racial segregation in America was a national and not just a Southern project. He has since analyzed American racial politics as clashes between racial policy alliances seeking to preserve or resist white privileges, and authored or co-authored books on immigration and eugenics, as well as the political power of the U.S. financial sector. He contributes both to theorizing and executing historical institutionalist approaches to political analysis.
In the name of and by the authority of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
No, don't go away. Don't go away. Stay here. Stay here. It's our policy. Will Dr. David L. Leibson please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present David Leibson, Robert I. Goldman Professor of Economics, Director of the Foundation of Human Behavior Initiative, and Faculty Dean at Lowell House, Harvard University, and co-director of the National Bureau of Economic Research Roybal Center on Behavior Change in Health at the National Institutes of Health. David Leibson is a leader in behavioral economics with path-breaking findings on a wide range of topics: self-regulation, behavior change, household finance, public finance, macroeconomics, asset pricing, asset pricing, aging, and biosocial science. Leibson's early research focused on decision-making when people have higher discount rates over short horizons and lower discount rates over longer horizons, leading to discord between today's preferences for the future and the preferences that will be held when one gets to that future. Commitment devices can help self-aware people overcome this time inconsistency. The devices available and those chosen have repercussions on individual well-being and on the economy as a whole. Leibson's work convinced many retirement plan managers to change their choice infrastructure, opt out, not opt in, for individuals' retirement planning.
In the name of and by the authority of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations, David. Great to see you here. Oops. Will Dr. Trudy F.C. McKay please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Trudy McKay, Director of the Clemson University Center for Human Genetics, Self-Family Endowed Chair of Human Genetics, and Professor of Genetics and Biochemistry at Clemson University. Defining the relationship between individual variation and DNA and expression of complex traits has been a central problem throughout the 20th century. McKay's distinctive contribution is uncovering fundamental principles that underlie the genetic architecture of complex traits using the fruit fly Drosophila as a model. She found that many genes affect any phenotype, implying extensive pleiotropy, that dynamic genetic networks determine complex traits, and that gene-gene interactions dominate the genetic architecture of most quantitative traits, depending on allele frequencies. McKay performed the first QTL mapping experiments in Drosophila and introduced quantitative complementation tests to narrow QTL interviews using overlapping deficiencies to identify causal genes associated with phenotypical variation. She generated the Drosophila Genetic Reference Panel as a community resource. This enabled her to establish systems genetic paradigms for the integration of DNA sequence variation with genome-wide expression variation and variation in organismal phenotypes to derive causal co-expression networks affecting quantitative traits.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. I'm going to have a drink of water before I go on here, or I'll lose it. Will Ms. Leslie Ann Miller please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? I have the honor to present Leslie Ann Miller, Chair of the Board of Directors at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Leslie Ann Miller is an enormously capable leader who has made remarkable contributions to many of Philadelphia's leading cultural and legal institutions. She has led several major institutions through difficult periods with consummate skill and grace. In situations that might have gotten bogged down with board members at odds with each other, Miller has been able to keep everyone together and the service of finding a good solution to the identified problems. She was the first woman to make partner at her law firm, the first woman to serve as president of the Pennsylvania Bar Association, and in 2003, the first woman appointed general counsel of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Her book, Start with a House, Finish with a Collection, offers a unique personal perspective on the journey of collecting American art and antiques. Featuring exquisite examples, this museum-caliber collection reveals a pride in the early American sensibility. The compendium catalogs a diversified and important collection, making this a valuable scholarly reference as well as a reading pleasure.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Leslie. Wonderful. Will Dr. Deborah Niemeyer please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President. Madam President, I have the honor to present Deborah Niemeyer, Clark Distinguished Chair in Sustainability and Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering at the University of Maryland College Park and Professor Emerita at the University of California, Davis. Deborah Niemeyer has done groundbreaking research in vehicle emissions, air quality, affordable housing, and infrastructure funding, spurring policy and regulatory change. She developed new methods to resolve vehicle emissions for better identification of environmental health disparities. Her work transformed federal guidance for public agencies by requiring that vulnerable populations be identified using her methods. Her research on the return to background pollutant concentrations at roadside edge resulted in a complete revision of current thinking about minimum acceptable distances from roadway edges for sensitive populations, motivating new international studies on air pollutants much further from roadway edges than was previously thought necessary. She's establishing the first civil and environmental engineering pro bono clinic in which engineering students will collaborate with law students through legal aid and university law clinics to provide technical expertise to support disadvantaged communities.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Will Dr. Daniel G. Nocera please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President. Madam President, I have the honor to present Daniel Nocera, Patterson Rockwood Professor of Energy in the Department of Chemistry and Chemical Biology at Harvard University. Daniel Nocera is a leading researcher in renewable energy. He created the artificial leaf to accomplish the solar fuels process of photosynthesis, the splitting of water to hydrogen and oxygen at efficiencies of greater than 10% sunlight under ambient conditions. He elaborated this invention to accomplish a complete artificial photosynthetic cycle with the creation of the bionic leaf, which comprises a bioengineered bacterium that uses the hydrogen from that artificial leaf and carbon dioxide from air to make biomass and liquid fuels. The bionic leaf performs an artificial photosynthesis that is 10 times more efficient than natural photosynthesis. He has since extended this approach to achieve a renewable and distributed synthesis of ammonia and fertilizer. These scientific discoveries may allow for distributed solar production of fuels and food, and thus could be particularly useful to the poor of the world, where large infrastructures for fuel and food production are not tenable.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Will Dr. Jennifer Richardson please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Jennifer Richardson, Philip R. Allen Professor of Psychology at Yale University. Jennifer Richardson documents how sociocultural group memberships, especially race, but also gender and social class, shape social interactions. Richardson uses a stunning range of innovative cognitive, social, and social neuroscience methods to explore interracial contact, analyzing prejudice from both perspectives, those potentially stigmatized and those potentially discriminating. She examines processes of mind and brain that influence the ways in which people experience diversity, with a primary focus on the dynamics that create, sustain, and sometimes challenge societal inequality. Much of her recent research considers the political consequences of the United States' increasing racial and ethnic diversity. She also investigates how people reason about and respond to different forms of inequality and the implications of such processes for detecting and confronting injustice. Further, Dr. Richardson and her students examine multiple consequences of managing the threats associated with being the target of discrimination. Through her teaching and research, she hopes to contribute to a better understanding of intergroup relations, including how best to foster culturally diverse environments that are cohesive.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
And the goodies, congratulations again. Will Dr. Howard Alvin Stone please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Howard Stone, Donald R. Dixon, 69, and Elizabeth W. Dixon, Professor in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering at Princeton University. Howard Stone, the most important single theorist in bridging fluid physics, materials science, microfluidics, and bioanalysis, brought understanding of the ways earlier work on the fluid dynamics of large tubes applied and did not apply to current problems of flows and fluids in microscale tubs, such as bioanalytical systems, and near surfaces, that is, in vivo. He has had significant impact on applied fluid dynamics. His theoretical work provides fundamental understanding of the flows of liquids for a wide array of devices that has made genomic analysis, high-performance biochemical separations, single-cell analysis, and other technologies possible. It links understanding of fluids from oceans to blood and from atmospheres to analysis of DNA. Stone's mathematical modeling and experiments have been particularly influential in the areas of microfluidics, complex fluids, and mechanics in biology. Stone was the first recipient of the Bachelor Prize, the most prestigious prize in fluid mechanics.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you. Will Dr. Mazarin R. Banajai please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Mazarin Banajai Richard Clark Cabot Professor of Social Ethics in the Department of Psychology and Senior Advisor to the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences at Harvard University and external faculty at Santa Fe Institute. Mazarin Banajai pioneered the science of implicit bias. She developed with Anthony Greenwald a theory, rigorous evidence, and widely used measure of implicit associations between social groups, such as those defined by gender and race ethnicity, and evaluative valence. These rapid associations, in-group equals good, out-group equals bad, may contradict people's conscious rejection of prejudice. Nevertheless, Implicit association tests are reliable and valid, correlate with relevant neural activations, as in the amygdala, and predict behavior, especially for politically sensitive issues, sometimes better than do explicit attitudes. Banerjee's recent work traces their origins to cultural exposure in childhood. Laboratory experiments demonstrate that immediate associations are under bounded control. Because individuals cannot reliably monitor bias, Banerjee develops legal and ethical implications. Social systems can better detect patterns of bias. Often unaware of bias, people may even justify a system that is biased against their own group. Through tireless public outreach, Banerjee educates business, law, and education organizations about unconscious bias and its inadvertent waste of human capital.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. We can take a picture of it. Yes. Thank you. Congratulations. Will Dr. Kathleen Mary Coleman please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President. Madam President, I have the honor to present Kathleen Mary Coleman, James Loeb Professor of the Classics at Harvard University. Kathleen Coleman is a scholar of exceptional range and imagination. Her book on Publius Papinius Statius showed her to be a highly professional philologist, but it was her magisterial work on gladiators and public spectacles that revealed her to be an exceptional historian whose mastery of diverse ancient documentation is matched by an unusually clear understanding of ancient society. Her dedication to her work has made her an exceptional teacher as well as scholar. She's been an esteemed mentor to many, both colleagues and students, since she came to Harvard. Although her publications have been largely concerned with Roman culture and Latin texts, she has an abiding interest in Greek literature as well as modern European literature.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Will Dr. Ronald Egan please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President. Madam President, I have the honor to present Ronald Egan, the W. Asherman Professor of Sinology at Stanford University's Department of East Asian Languages and Cultures and Emeritus Professor of Chinese at the University of California, Santa Barbara. At Santa Barbara, where he taught for 25 years, he was founding chair of the Department of East Asian Languages and Cultural Studies. Ronald Egan is one of the giants of early modern Chinese literary and cultural studies. For over 40 years, in scores of publications, he has brought to life through probing analysis and elegant translations the worlds of literature, painting, calligraphy, and scholarship of the Song Dynasty from 960 to 1279, the crucial period bridging transition from medieval to early modern China, of which he is the acknowledged master. A scholar of astonishing breadth, he has written importantly on ancient and medieval history, music, stylistics, and on questions of early modern aesthetics and gender that few other sinologists even attempt to consider. His most recent two books, a study of China's foremost pre-modern woman poet and a complete translation of her collected works, are models of gender studies, historical reconstruction, and critical precision.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held in Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Will Dr. Thomas W. LaCour please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Thomas LaCour, Helen Fawcett Distinguished Professor of History Emeritus at the University of California, Berkeley. Thomas LaCour is arguably one of the most important cultural historians of his generation worldwide. A trustee of the National Humanities Center and a regular contributor to the London Review of Books, the Times Literary Supplement, and The Guardian, his works have been translated into at least 15 languages. Spanning 2 millennia of human experience, his research and writing treats a remarkable range of topics and subfields in the history of Western civilization, from literacy, education, and popular politics to the scientific understanding of sex differentiation, the origins of human rights, and the cultural meanings of death. As a founding member of the editorial board of the journal Representations, he was a co-creator of what came to be called the New Cultural History, whose hallmark is the deployment of literary and anthropological approaches to the study of major transformations and our understanding of fundamental elements of human experience, elements that had previously been viewed as beyond the scope and reach of historical investigation.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Let's have pictures. Congratulations. Will Mr. Nicholas Lemon please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Nicholas Lemon, Joseph Pulitzer II, and Edith Pulitzer Moore Professor of Journalism and Dean Emeritus at Columbia University. In September 2003, Nicholas Lemon became Dean of the Graduate School of Journalism at Columbia University. During Lemon's time as Dean, the Journalism School launched and completed its first capital fundraising campaign, added 20 members to its full-time faculty, built a student center, started its first new professional degree program since the 1930s, and launched significant new initiatives in investigative reporting, digital journalism, and executive leadership for news organizations and other areas. He stepped down as dean in 2013. Lemon continues to contribute to The New Yorker as a staff writer. He has written widely for such publications as The New York Times, The New York Review of Books, The New Republic, and Slate, worked in documentary television with Blackside Incorporated, Frontline, the Discovery Channel, and the BBC, and lectured at many universities. And I'll add that Nick and I had a wonderful time deconstructing a book you may have heard of that was written by Herrnstein and Murray some years ago.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Great to see you here. Will Dr. Sally Coco S. Mufwene please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Salikoko Mufweni, Edward Carson Waller, Distinguished Service Professor of Linguistics and the College, Professor on the Committee of Evolutionary Biology, Professor of Committee on the Conceptual and Historical Studies of Science, and Professor, Committee on African Studies at the University of Chicago. Remarkably prolific, with around 250 articles, 3 short monographs, 3 major books, and dozens of edited works, Salikoko Mufweni is a leader in the study of Creole languages, those arising under extreme conditions of contact among speakers of different languages brought together by colonization and exploitation under slavery. His work speaks more generally to language contact and, by extension, the origin and evolution of language, where he pioneered the application of principles from biology, especially evolutionary and population biology. This work led to his approach to language contact development and evolution, known as the ecology of language, a now widely adopted framework. Ever interdisciplinary, his most recent work aims at building connections between economics and linguistics, leading to an important, groundbreaking edited volume.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you. Will Mr. Robert McCracken Peck please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Robert Peck, Curator of Art and Artifacts and Senior Fellow at the Academy of Natural Sciences of Philadelphia, Drexel University. Robert Peck is a writer, naturalist, and historian who has traveled extensively in pursuit of his scholarly endeavors, in a career that uniquely combines scholarship, field studies, and international exploration. He has accompanied research expeditions in Nepal, Ecuador, Venezuela, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Siberia, Guyana, and 7 expeditions in Mongolia, where he worked collaboratively with the Mongolian Academy of Science on the ecology of the threatened Lake Baikal rift system. Peck has retraced the travel routes of a number of 18th and 19th century naturalists, including William Bartram, John James Audubon, Henry David Thoreau, Alexander von Humboldt, John Burroughs, and John Muir. His 1990 book, Land of the Eagle, A Natural History of North America, was the companion volume to an 8-part BBC PBS television series which dealt with the discovery and exploration of America from a natural history point of view. His latest book is, I think in its 2nd edition, The Natural History of Edward Lear.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Will Dr. Eva Schlotthuber please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Eva Schlotthuber, Professor for Medieval History at Heinrich Heine University, Dusseldorf, and President of the German Historical Association. Eva Schlotthuber ranks among Europe's most distinguished and versatile historians, indicative of the high regard in which she is held not just by medievalists. In 2016, she was the first woman in 125 years to be elected to the presidency of the Verband der Historiker and Historikerinnen. Yeah, thank you, Deutschland. Known for service to the profession, including lobbying on behalf of the humanities. She's been named to numerous governing bodies, including those of the Monumenta Germaniae Historica. Her publications range widely. Primary areas of interest include the history of female monasticism and of the education of women, and in particular, their literacy in Latin, the history of libraries, the history of the family, and the history of Bohemia in particular in the 14th century and under the rule of the Holy Roman Empire, Charles IV.
Thank you.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Will Sir John Scahill please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present John Scahill, Emeritus Research Scientist at the Francis Crick Institute. An acclaimed virologist, Sir John Scahill's research has contributed major insights about how viruses recognize and infect their host cells. He focuses on the virus that causes influenza. Yeah, okay. Can't win them all. Of which there are 3 to 5 million cases a year worldwide, resulting in up to 500,000 deaths. His discoveries of the mechanisms by which influenza binds to a host cell and about virus cell membrane fusion have had a fundamental impact on the field. He has spent all of his research career at the United Kingdom's National Institute of Medical Research in London. In addition to his record in research, Scahill has held important leadership posts, including head of infections and immunity and director of the National Institute of Medical Research, director of the World Health Organization's Collaborating Center for Reference and Research on Influenza, and biological secretary and vice president of the Royal Society.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations, and I much enjoyed our conversation last night. Yes. Will Dr. Eva Tardish please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Eva Tardish, Jacob Gould Sherman, Professor of Computer Science at Cornell University. Eva Tardish is one of the giants of computer science, with her seminal work on flow algorithms, linear programming, and approximation algorithms. Her work is characterized by deep theoretical results, the resolution of major challenges in the field, and a track record of impact on key applications. She's among the top 3 researchers in the world in algorithmic game theory, where her framing of the field has profoundly influenced several generations of computer scientists. She is winner of the 2019 IEEE von Neumann Medal, the citation of which describes her as having reshaped and renewed the foundations of algorithm design with long-term vision, creativity, and technical strength that is benefiting the Internet, through improved resource allocation, network formation, routing and congestion control, and electronic commerce. She also won the 2012 Girdell Prize for her work on selfish routing.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Will Dr. Stephen Weiner please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Stephen Weiner, Professor Emeritus at the Weizmann Institute of Science. Since his doctorate, Stephen Weiner has been a leader in biomineralization research worldwide, focusing on the structures, functions, and formation pathways of mineralized tissues in animals and plants, ranging from skeletal materials to materials with optical functions. Weiner and colleagues determined the structure of the key building block of most bone tissues, the mineralized collagen fibril, and more recently showed that there are two different materials in bone, not one, as was thought before. Weiner's highly cited classic writings include reviews of bone structure and the book on biomineralization, regarded as the textbook of the field. In the 90s, Weiner expanded his research to archaeology and created a subdiscipline called microarchaeology. Microarchaeology is a unique combination of humanistic and scientific disciplines which integrates field and lab research to achieve reconstruction of past scenarios through validated scientific identification of materials in a historical perspective.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Dr. Elizabeth Hinton will come forward to the President's desk, and she's right here already, to sign the roll book and receive a formal welcome from the President. She is the Professor of Law at Yale Law School and Associate Professor of History and American Studies at African American Studies at Yale University. We wanted to do her induction now while she's on the stage for this afternoon's symposium to save her broken foot from one more trip up and down stairs. So, you know, we're a kindly organization in some ways. Elizabeth has made remarkable contribution to the understanding of U.S. history through her deep and careful analyses of urban violence, racial inequality, and poverty in the 20th century. Her book, From the War on Poverty to the War on Crime, The Making of Mass Incarceration in America, is a meticulous account of how federal law enforcement programs beginning in the mid-1960s shifted social policies about incarceration. Her 2021 book, America on Fire, The Untold History of Police Violence and Black Rebellion Since the 1960s, examines documents about violence in the streets that many had termed riots and that she describes as uprisings in which police respond with aggression against black communities. This body of work has made Hinton one of the nation's leading experts on criminalization and policing and on the role of race in U.S. political policymaking.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations, I'm delighted for you, and I'm looking forward to these next events. Anita LaFrance Allen, please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President. Madam President, I have the honor to present Anita Allen, who is Henry R. Silberman Professor of Law and Professor of Philosophy at the University of Pennsylvania. Anita Allen is a major figure in the fields of bioethics, philosophy and jurisprudence, feminism, and race relations. At the nexus of philosophy, jurisprudence, and feminism, she has contributed what is perhaps now the clearest and most authoritative justification for women's privacy rights in existence, and has led the way in outlining exactly how women's rights have been denigrated in the public and private spheres. She understands privacy as a broad concept involving personal inaccessibility and covering other such areas as anonymity, confidentiality, and secrecy. Her conceptualization has been highly influential in broader debates about women's rights, both in the public and family contexts. She has amplified a fuller understanding of privacy by placing it in the context of accountability, arguing accountability in private life is essential. Her work has had a profound impact on a wide range of issues, including the intersections of race, gender, and social class. She is currently applying her insights and acumen to social media, cyber technologies, and privacy.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now we stand over here.
We want to be this way, yeah. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you. Will Dr. Neely Cohen please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Neely Cohen, Professor Emerita and former Rector at Tel Aviv University. Neely Cohen is a leading Israeli legal academic and public intellectual with specialties in comparative law, contract law, and literature. Her main work in the field of contract, co-authored with Daniel Friedman, is reflected in the 4-volume series, Contracts, which is frequently cited in Israel's courts. As a member and former president of the Israel Academy of Sciences and Humanities, she promoted academic research in Israel, encouraged the role of women in science, advanced young researchers, promoted international academic ties, contributed to the development and shaping of legal and academic research in Israeli society, and to opening the Academy's gates to the general public. At the Academy, she also organized international conferences, including one on the future of liberal democracy that took place in Jerusalem shortly before the COVID-19 pandemic shut down. In her scholarly capacity, she founded and runs a nationally esteemed annual law and literature event attended by the country's leading writers.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. You bet. Will Dr. Catherine Gallagher please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Catherine Gallagher, Ida May, and William J. Eggers, Jr., Professor Emerita at the University of California, Berkeley. As a consequence of her theoretical work, her institutional contributions, her commitment to issues of gender, class, and race, and the literary canon, and her historically and philosophically informed readings of both canonical and non-canonical texts, Gallagher is one of the most influential literary critics of her generation. She's one of the co-founders, expositors, and leading practitioners of New Historicism. Gallagher is also one of the founding members of the important journal Representations, and a longtime member of the School of Criticism and Theory. She's also been one of the most important teachers of the past 4 decades. She trained scores of graduate students, started new programs like that in human rights at Berkeley, edited important document collections, and taught in a variety of innovative undergraduate programs.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Don't go away. We have to have a picture here. Congratulations. And good to see you again so soon. Will Dr. Barbara V. Yaksock please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Barbara Yaksock, Professor of Physics at the University of California, Berkeley, and Faculty Senior Scientist at Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. Barbara Yaksock is an internationally recognized leader in the nuclear physics community. As the spokesperson for the 400-person Phoenix Experimental Ultra-Relativistic Heavy Ion Collaboration at the Brookhaven Relativistic Ion Collider, she played a crucial role in discovery of the quark-gluon plasma, a new state of matter in which quarks are no longer confined and display a strong interacting liquid-like behavior. A leader of the CERN Na-44 heavy ion experiment, she discovered the momentum dependence of Bose-Einstein correlations of the collision products, allowing her to infer experimentally the collective expansion velocity of the collision volume. Yaksock has been instrumental in bringing plasma and atomic physicists together with nuclear physicists to elucidate the physics of strongly coupled plasmas.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. And lovely talking with you last night. Will Dr. Tobin J. Marks please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Tobin J. Marks, Vladimir N. Ipatiev Professor of Catalytic Chemistry, Professor of Materials Science and Engineering, Professor of Applied Physics, and Professor of Chemical and Biological Engineering at Northwestern University. By combining creative chemical synthesis with the incisive application of diverse physiochemical characterization techniques, Tobin Marks achieved pioneering advances over broad areas of contemporary chemical and material chemical science relative to enhancing the quality of human life. These advances include rational catalytic reaction design via analysis of metal ligand bonding energetics for understanding and inventing entirely new catalytic transformations, catalytic synthesis and/or deconstruction of sustainable polymeric materials for cleaner, greener, and more recyclable plastics, F-element organometallic chemistry and catalysis, opening up new parts of the period table for organometallic chemistry. Soft matter photonic materials for high-speed optical signal processing, displays, and solar cells using light in new energy-wise ways. Soft matter electronic materials for printable, flexible, stretchable, wearable electronics and biomedical sensors. Oxide thin films for new electronic and optical functionality, such as fully transparent electronic circuitry, and informative bioinorganic, organometallic enzyme models, and carcinostatic pharmaceuticals.
Thanks so much. Very nice to meet you all.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
No, don't leave, don't leave. You got to have the pictures taken here. Okay. Congratulations again. Thank you. Will Dr. James M. Moran please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present James Moran, Senior Scientist at the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory, and Donald H. Menzel, Emeritus Professor of Astrophysics at Harvard University. James Moran has led a decades-long program which has directly established the geometric scale of the universe and provided the first direct evidence for the existence of supermassive black holes. These exquisite observations began with Moran's 1967 pioneering work in the development of very long baseline spectral line interferometry and culminated with his observations of cosmic H2O maser sources to obtain the direct geometric distance to a galaxy independent of traditional multiple-step extragalactic distance ladder and its uncertain metallicity corrections. The extragalactic distance scale is a key ingredient in establishing the equation state of dark matter, as well as being an essential prerequisite for the determination of the age, energy density, synthesis of the light elements, geometry, and evolution of the universe. The current tension between the Maser, Cepheid supernova, and Planck values of the Hubble constant depends fundamentally on these direct geometric measurements.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you. Will Dr. David Oxtoby please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present David Oxtoby, President of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences and President Emeritus at Pomona College. David Oxtoby is an environmental chemist, author of a standard chemistry textbook, Principles of Chemistry, now in an 8th edition, and a leader in higher education. He served 14 years as president of Pomona College, and during that time chaired both the Harvard University Board of Overseers and the Association of American Colleges and Universities. He began his teaching career at the University of Chicago in 1977 and served 8 years there as Dean of the Division of Physical Sciences. In 2019, after a year as a visiting scholar at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, he assumed a full-time position as president of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, where he has expanded an already robust program of research and study of education and other matters affecting America.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. It's great to see you here. Will Dr. Jahan Ramazani please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President. Madam President, I have the honor to present Jahan Ramazani, University Professor, and Edgar F. Shannon Professor of English at the University of Virginia. Jahan Ramazani's books have made crucial contributions to the major new discipline of world literature. His books both interpret specific literary works from a global perspective and establish theoretical and methodological principles for the study of world literature. His transnational poetics has virtually created the field of global lyric poetry. Beginning as a Yeatsian, Ramazani had published a now standard textbook on the elegy. Then, in his most influential book, Transnational Poetics, Ramazani brought together far-flung poets from Ramanujan to Walcott to Bennett. Ramazani has especially brought the poets of India and the Caribbean to renewed notice in the United States, both in books and in brilliant essays that balance philosophical and literary interests and raising the profile of post-colonial poetry. He's also sought to illuminate poetry's dialogue with other discourses and genres, particularly in poetry and its others, news, prayer, song, and the dialogue of genres.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Will Dr. David Nathan Spergel please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President. Madam President, I have the honor to present David Spergel, President of the Simons Foundation, and Charles Jung Professor of Astronomy Emeritus at Princeton University. David Spergel is one of the leading theoretical astrophysicists working at the interface between particle physics and cosmology, and has in addition made significant contributions to observation and instrumentation. He led the WMAP satellite team in interpretation of the cosmic background radio observations, which have given the most accurate version of the standard cosmology model based on dark matter and dark energy in a geometrically flat universe. He's made important contributions to a wide range of the topics, including dark matter detection, high-velocity clouds, topological defects, tidal tails, disk galaxy formation, and cosmic topology. With Steinhardt, he invented and explored the concept of self-interacting dark matter. With Blitz, he found convincing evidence from near-infrared imaging that the Milky Way is a barred galaxy. He invented a novel coronagraph for planet detection and has played a leading role in the development of coronagraphs for high-contrast satellite imaging. With Spergel's science, his mentorship of young scientists, and his leadership in the scientific community have been hugely influential.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Will Mr. Darren Walker please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Darren Walker, President of the Ford Foundation. Since becoming President of the Foundation in 2013, Darren Walker has reoriented the country's second largest philanthropic organization toward the challenge of overcoming inequality. Growing up in a single-parent household with few resources, he was in the first cohort of young children to benefit from the Head Start preschool program and attended college with the assistance of a federal Pell Grant. Today, he heads a foundation with a $13 billion endowment that makes $650 million in grants every year. His goal is to help assure that others can ride what he calls the mobility escalator that took him to the top. What are we doing with our privilege is the question he poses in his life and work. He chaired the philanthropy committee that brought a resolution to the city of Detroit's historic bankruptcy. Under his leadership, the Ford Foundation became the first nonprofit in U.S. history to issue a $1 billion designated social bond in U.S. capital markets for proceeds to strengthen and stabilize nonprofit organizations in the wake of COVID-19. Walker has announced that the Ford Foundation will divest its investments from fossil fuels and seek opportunities to invest in alternative and renewable energy in the future. We are most excited that we'll hear Darren Walker on this stage shortly in conversation with David Rubenstein.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Will Dr. Pierre-Etienne Will please come forward to the President's desk to sign the roll book and then receive a formal welcome from the President? Madam President, I have the honor to present Pierre-Etienne Will, Professor Emeritus at the Collège de France. Pierre-Etienne Will is a giant in the illustrious tradition of French sinology. For 40-plus years as professor at the École des Hautes Études en Sciences Sociales, and is also as one of the 50 elected professors at the Collège de France. He has been the acknowledged leader in studies of late imperial, that is to say, 1500 to 1900, Chinese civil and bureaucratic history, exploring in unprecedented detail the practical, everyday concerns of imperial China's vast local bureaucracy. His books and articles in French and English have shaped 2 generations of scholars on both sides of the Atlantic. Among countless publications, his 2-volume analysis of more than 1,100 manuscript and printed handbooks from Ming-Qing times regarding administrators' ethical and technical duties opened startlingly new avenues of study. He served the field in many other capacities, most notably as longtime editor of Tuang Pao, the oldest and most respected sinological journal.
By the authority and in the name of the American Philosophical Society, held at Philadelphia for promoting useful knowledge, I do admit you a member thereof. Félicitations.
I'm going to say something. Congratulations. Oh, we got to go. We have to take a picture. Congratulations.